Do you have a hobby or sport that you have to spend 24 hours, 7 days a week taking care of? My name is Kylie England, and I did my senior presentation on 3-day eventing, which is the horse discipline sport that I've competed in for the past 5 to 7 years of my life. I chose 3-day eventing as my topic because it is a sport that I'm super passionate about. I've spent tons of time, money, hours traveling, pursuing this sport. I wanted to become more educated on it to possibly help me in the competition ring and overall just have more general knowledge of it, because I think that is a good thing to do, is know about what you spend your money and time doing on. I've been eventing competitively for 5 years now. I've competed up to the 2-star preliminary level. I competed in the North American Youth Championships in 2018 and 2019, which is the Junior Olympics for eventing. I originally wanted to learn more about the aspects of the shows itself, talking to the technical delegates, the course designers, the officials of the shows, to find out what they do to put on the shows, what they're looking for each level and stuff. But due to the coronavirus, I was unable to travel to the shows I was going to. So luckily, we were still able to have clinics and work with international level riders who already have experienced this a lot, and this is their career and they are professionals at this sport. So the first person I got to talk to was international event rider Tammy Smith. She competed for the Pan Am Games in Peru last year, and U.S. got Team Gold. And I had a clinic with her, and I got to interview her. And she talked a lot about different cross-country jumps. And in eventing, we have 3 phases: dressage, cross-country, and show jumping, and they're all equally as important. But cross-country is what makes eventing special. And so she talked about the different cross-country jumps, which I also did some research in my secondary research. Like chicaners, coffins, ditches, water complexes, skinnies, all different things that you see at different levels. And when I was doing my secondary research, I went over the differences between the levels as well, from beginner, novice to advanced. And she really went into detail on why we see some elements at preliminary, intermediate, but we don't see it at all at the novice and beginner novice levels. And then we were lucky enough to put some of those things that we learned and that we talked about in our interview into the clinic, because usually we only get to do cross-country jumps out in the field, which is hard to do in the wintertime when things are closed. But luckily we had a few elements that we could do in our arena riding to work on that. I also talked to the number 1 ranked rider in the world, Oliver Townsend, because I had a clinic with him and also got to interview him. He is from England, and one thing that he talked about a lot for going on teams in the sports, more than just the young rider level that I'm at right now, but the Pan Ams like Tammy, and Olympics and the World Equestrian Games, is having multiple horses to produce. Because if one gets hurt, you need to have a backup, because once it gets to a certain point, they can't sub people in. And so it's really important to have multiple horses competing at the top level that are all super talented. That is really going to help you for team competitions at the more international, higher professional level, which I thought was very valuable knowledge. Another thing that I learned was about building show jumping courses, which this was really nice because I got to do this at home after I learned about it as well in my own arena. Annie Grandia, an international event rider, went over what the regulations are for shows, what the course designers try to do when they're making show jumping courses, because show jumping is actually really important because it can really shake up the leaderboard, which a lot of people forget. And Annie Grandia actually runs her own event in Centralia, Washington, and so she was really educated on this topic. And it was really nice that I got to go home and do this in my own arena to practice for the competition ring. Some strengths that I felt during this presentation was the ability to do it at my house, and the ability to learn from people who aren't technically officials but have been around the sport for so long that they've just noticed. So it's actually not just one opinion. They've been to shows all over the nation, all over the world actually, and were able to give their feedback on what they've seen. A few weaknesses in this was I never really was sure if I was going to get the opportunity in the time from the senior project to actually get this stuff done. I didn't know what I was going to be able to do, not in competition season, to learn about competition season, but it actually ended up working really well. So the weaknesses actually weren't too bad. I'm really glad I did this topic. I think it's really going to benefit me for the competition season that's finally going to start up again. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching my presentation. I appreciate you using your time to watch this, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.